बोलो नारायण जय जय विठ्ठला. बोलो नारायण जय जय विठ्ठला. लक्ष्मी नारायण रंग रंग विठ्ठला. श्रीरंग विठ्ठला पांडुरंग विठ्ठला. Ray, you must smile. What is Shoka Sabha or what this is? Shri Ranga Vitthala Panduranga Vitthala. Shri Ranga Vitthala Panduranga Vitthala. Bolo Narayana Jai Jai Vitthala. Lakshmi Narayana Ranga Ranga Vitthala. Shri Ranga Vitthala Panduranga Vitthala. Shri Ranga Vitthala Panduranga Vitthala. Bolo Narayana Jai Jai Vitthala. जय जय विठ्ठला. रंग रंग विठ्ठला. जय जय विठ्ठला. जय जय विठ्ठला. बोलो विठ्ठल भगवान की जय. We'll take some questions and we'll have some more bhajans later. How can one handle moments of physical pain or disease? From your perspective, did Vedanta change the way you handle such situations? How does one not retreat to the bed and instead face it head on? Okay, very nice. You see, whoever is the questioner, very nice question in the sense, you contextualize a question. You must approach everything from a first person's point of view. Rather than looking at pain as an abstract category, how does one handle in one's life? How one's response is going to be to such situation. Okay, how can one handle pain in one's life? You see, Vedanta brings the most ultimate perspective in order to handle the pain. See, any pain is centered on the body, isn't it so? Or mind. You have many mental pain. A person may be undergoing mental pain, or it could be physical pain because of a disease or a compromise in a joint, back, whatsoever. You see, one fundamental principle, an insight of Vedanta is the seer and the seen are separate. I am the seer and this piece of paper is seen. Seer is always separate from that of the seen. I am the seer, the scene keeps on changing, one thing after another. When I see something, I am not this, isn't it so? I am the seer and I am not the paper. I am the seer, I am not this desk. Now can we apply the same? I am the seer, I see the body. Isn't it so? Body is seen. Body is seen. So now you see the pain. I am the seer, the pain is seen. You're clearly able to separate in fact, even when you say, this part of the head is paining, You're able to say that because you're the seer and you're separate from it. Isn't it so? But more often what happens is we get confused between seer and seen. We identify with the pain and become one with the pain, because of which there will be suffering. So how I handle it, or how a Vedantic perspective, Vedantic way of handling is, you are always separate from the pain. There is pain, you're not denying the pain. Vedanta is not about denial. Vedanta is not about suppression either. It's an objective perception. There is pain, I acknowledge. If there is pain, I acknowledge. But there is no rule that you have to suffer just because there is pain. There is pain and you are separate from it. You are the seer of the pain, not the pain. Pain may be there in the joint, there may be in the limb or whatsoever part of the body, or even if it could be mental pain. But you are somebody separate from the pain. When you separate yourself from the pain, you can now objectively handle the pain. What is to be done? Does it require a Tylenol? Does it require a doctor's visit? Does it require just some putting hot water compression or cold water, whatever is the thing? What should I do? Now you will be able to objectively handle it. You won't bring in, why me? Why me? What do you mean? You wanted that for your neighbor? So you'll have an objective perspective. So if you ask me, how do I handle it? This is how I handle it. This is how everybody with a Vedantic insight, if you can handle, then pain can be objectively handled. Yet there won't be suffering. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So you could do that. On the one hand, we want to develop an attitude of acceptance. This is accepting the world as it is. But then how to address inequalities, injustice in the world? Should we just accept and move on? I think I clarified in the evening class, acceptance doesn't mean that you do not respond. Acceptance doesn't mean inaction. Do what is to be done and accept the outcome. Accept the outcome when it comes. It still doesn't mean that you should take more initiative or more action. Accept it at that point. Now you again re-strategize or see what is to be done. If there is a possibility to do more, and if there is a possibility, do more. Having done that, if a stage comes where you can objectively feel that thus far no further, then accept it totally. Then it's not up to me probably. I cannot change my height, whatever I may want to do. I better accept it. No heels can fix it. No buying a bigger sneakers or anything will fix it. Let me just accept my height. So that becomes acceptance. If you want to clarify, if you have further question to ask, you can always do so. I mean, regarding one question, you want to have a follow-up question, you're welcome to do so. How to stop being anxious about the future? How to stop overthinking and stay in the present, especially from samsara front? Yeah, anxiety starts when you start imagining the future. The moment you locate yourself to the future, anxiety is inevitable. It's a consequence of imagining the future. In fact, I often tell you, imagine 10 things about the future, 10 things which may go wrong. You will be thinking about it and being anxious. I say, why have you stopped at 10? 25 things could go wrong. Isn't it so? So, there is no point simply spinning an imaginary future. Do what is to be done. You can put a retirement fund, you can put an insurance and could put a few things in place. That's all. What else can you do? No need of simply spinning it. So chronologically, yes, future will arrive one day or the other. A few years later, you won't be of this age anymore. You got to fix a few things, objectively do it and be done with it. That's it. Then why do you even take an in policy, insurance and funds if your way of handling future is to set a few things and yet be worried? Then why do all those things in the first place? Isn't it so? So have a firm belief, faith. This is where we need this attitude of Shraddha, Bhakti of some sorts to say that things will be taken care in the future. There is a higher power. The power which is feeding me today will feed me 10 years later too. So have a firm faith, bhakti in that. That's how you don't imagine a future and then be anxious about it. So that's the best way to do it. And be a karma yogi. Karma yogi is always located in the present moment, in the action, not in the future. All right. Swamiji, 2 questions. Fine. I could take 3 also. How to distinguish between workaholics and work as worship folks? No, we do. Our thing is not to label somebody and start new categories. It's not that. But it's for oneself. It's not to put people into categories. Adhyatma Vidya, knowledge concerning oneself. So it's not about others, it's about you. You look at your life. Do you derive your entire self-worth based on what you do, based on your career? Is your self-identity highly based on your profession? Is your emotional well-being directly and highly dependent upon the work that you're doing? If that is so, then you have put too much focus on the work. Time to analyze it and then reorganize your priorities. Derive your self-worth not from work alone. Not work alone. There's family, there's friends, there is one's own thoughts, one's own life, one's own efforts. So it should not be based on that. That's how you see. You can see yourself where you stand. And Karma Yoga, or person who has converted work into a worship, the sign, true sign of it is that work doesn't frustrate you. Work may physically tire you, definitely. If you work 8 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, even Karma Yogi or a workaholic will feel tired, definitely. Physically, you may be strained, you may be tired, for sure. But then, a workaholic would be frustrated. Having worked so hard for 12, 13, whatever hours, it is going to be very frustrated internally. So a Karma Yogi is going to be tired, no doubt, but not frustrated. Recently, a techie committed suicide in Bangalore. Okay. How would you have counseled him to stop it? Are you give me hypothetical scenarios. You see, we become mentally weak for so many reasons. Some lack love, some lack support, some lack support. They may have support, but they lack it at the crucial nth hour. So many causes, but then I would say, I often say this when I'm addressing youngsters in schools, colleges, etc., that life will be fine. Whatever problem that you may be facing, It's very, very small compared to the grandeur of life. It's okay if few things did not happen the way you thought. Few plans did not work out. So what? It's okay. So we must cultivate that so what attitude. Adults, youngsters, everyone, so what? It's okay. Something else can come. Something else will come up. What's the big deal? So I didn't get this SAT score. So what? It's okay. Life will still be fine. I did not get this promotion. It's okay. So what? So what? So when we keep bringing in that attitude on a day-to-day basis in small things and big things, then we know that the worth of life is a lot. It's a gift. It's a gift of nature, gift of Bhagavan. Such a beautiful phenomenon. So we must not do anything actively to kill it. It's not right. It's not right to do for oneself, so nor for others. So one must know that, and parents should cultivate this value in the kids. It's okay, things will be fine. So no need to stress on small simple things. So then they will have the same attitude when they grow up as well. What does acceptance mean in various contexts such as parenting, marriage, professional life? How can one distinguish between acceptance and giving up, and what's the key difference between the concepts? Okay, I see that there is some confusion in that. There is an outcome. You do something and there is an outcome. Then acceptance is an attitude where you're taking it for the objective value at that moment and reevaluate what you can do. So that's acceptance there. Giving up is not taking any action after an outcome. Karma Yoga is not giving up. In fact, Karma Yoga came because Arjuna was giving up. Isn't it? So in the battlefield, Arjuna did not want to take up the arms and fight the war, what he had to do in that situation. For people who do not understand the context, Krishna is not telling Arjuna to wage war. He is telling to do duty. In that context, the war is an example there. So when we put Sri Krishna's teachings into our life, it's not that we are all called for war. This is not jihad or anything. We are not at all called for war. This is ahimsa paramo dharma. We are not at all for war or anything. For duty, what is to be done. That's it. Do what is to be done. So acceptance of outcome is at all levels. An outcome comes. Do you have any other option? Now ask yourself. Do you have any other option but to accept? Yes, Swamiji, we have. I will resist it. Try. You try and you take for yourself what is a wise thing to do. Want to keep on resisting it and stay furious and frustrated, or accept it, calm down and give a response to it, to what is to be done. So that's all it is. So you were trying to cook a soup and you tasted it and then it lacks many flavors including salt. Now will you say, I accept it? Accepting it is, acceptance there at that level is what? The soup is what it is. Now, it doesn't mean that you should not add seasonings to it. Now take the initiative. Add if it requires something, add it. You did it 3 times, 4th time you tasted it, still it's terrible. Then accept it. What else can you do? You added everything that could be added. So can you improvise it anymore? No. That's the total acceptance at that time. So then you say, Sharanagati, Bhagavan, I accept. Bhagavan, I accept it. That's having tried all the initiatives, all the efforts. Then suppose outcome is something which is not what you want, what you expected, then what can you do? you better accept it. Yeah. So apply the same in context like parenting, marriage. That's what the questioner is asking. Yeah, parenting. You did what you did for the kid, and then they're not ready to hear you. Accept it. What else can you do? Accept. Marriage. Spouse says, you are all experts. This is not my field of expertise. Accept. That's how it works. Work as worship is the wonderful way to look at Karma Yoga. How does this concept work when we are presented with tasks that we dislike in life? Yeah, that is the catch there. Yeah. In fact, life always throws so many things, actions, errands on us which we do not like. Who likes to go to the gym? Only few people. It is when you want to take care of your health, it's a lot of thing to do, a lot of effort. It's not very pleasant thing to do. Who wants to run? Who wants to do 10,000 steps? So, but then, when you start cultivating things which you don't dislike also, momentarily there doesn't seem to be something exciting or something pleasant or what you want. But in the long run, all the tasks that you don't like to do, but if suppose they're your duties you ought to do, then definitely it brings you long-term benefit. There may be a short-term compromise, but then when you do it, you will definitely have long-term benefit. And then try enjoying it. Take initiatives to make it interesting. Try your best. If it's not possible, then acceptance. And yet doing what is to be done. Yeah. You want to ask something? Yes.
Pratipaksha bhavana, I've heard of this word.
Yes.
You bring an opposite thought. That is what, I don't know how that happens.
So pratipaksha bhavana is bringing a opposite thought. Suppose there is you see something. You saw the khichdi today in the counter. Then you say, immediately mind says, oh, I don't like this. Then you bring the pratipaksha bhavana. I love it. Put a thought. It's an induced thought. It's an induced thought. Then you will start neutralizing that. So the effect of that dislike thought, I don't like this. So when you put the pratipaksha bhavana, you neutralize that thought. That's how you go about it.
But how can we do this when it comes to fear?
Mm-hmm.
See, like my daughter, she's a very smart girl, but she's very fearful when it comes to writing examinations. Just because she has this fear, she's not able to perform well. It's not that she does her duty and studies, but that fear, that panic at that time of the examination causes her a lot of stress. So how do we get over that?
A common problem many students face, it's again somewhere, if you deeply analyze that fear probably could be centered on outcome. So as parents, what one can do is always tell the kid, it's okay. Whatever is the score is fine. You focus on putting your efforts. I would accept any score. In fact, I suggest you accept any score. Life will work out. Life is not score based. All of you, especially in the Indian diaspora and in the Indian context, so much stress is there on the grades. In fact, I see in the US, parents are even more stressed. Our people in Bangalore, Delhi are bindas. So highly stressed here. Like parents are, oh my God, they're always assuming the worst and then always concerned about the grades, as if there is no life for a kid apart from grades. So it's that. So somewhere you see, is it the parents, is it the family, is it the circle around which has probably introduced this extreme orientation towards excellence and then non-acceptance of certain results. So see if that fear is based on that, and then a parent can counsel the kid accordingly and try to calm the situation. And few situational exercises, that eating something something sweet or some whatever that person likes before the examination, or listening to some favorite calming music track, a hug from the mother, a hug from the father, and then all of them definitely help situationally. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful answer.
Yeah, the chai also helps. When I was in Harvard, when all these young fellows used to get stressed, I used to make chai and give all of them. What is the difference between academic study of Upanishads and the traditional study of Upanishads? What are the technical differences? So in the academic study of Upanishads, or for that matter any scripture, is approached just as a piece of literature. The person is not studying Upanishads in an academic context to gain moksha or anything. Simply there is an academic inquisitiveness, there is a interest in terms of exploring it as a piece of knowledge. So one examines Upanishads as a piece of literature, religious literature, as a piece of literature which contains philosophy, some whatever things about Hindu systems. But that's not the way we do it in the ashrams. The traditional way of approaching the Upanishad, we are not approaching Upanishad simply for some curiosity. We want to transform. We want to transform ourselves through the study of the Upanishad. So in an academic context, the Upanishad is just studied for the sake of exploring it and bringing out some concept out of it, or for a research purpose. So here the purpose in a traditional context is to see what it can teach us and see myself in the light of the teachings of Upanishads and contemplate upon it and make that knowledge my own. So there is a heaven lot of difference between the academic context and our context. Few things are same, such like say exploration of it from a language perspective. What does the grammar has to offer? So those things are probably same. But this attitude of Shraddha with which we approach, a reverential attitude, that these are sacred books, has to be has something to say, something to learn. That's how we approach. In fact, it is also a little bit changing in the academy. There is now stress on approaching the text as something sacred, not simply approaching it as a piece of literature. This is something which makes sense to billions of people. So it's not just a piece of literature, but something sacred, which is held with reverence in millions of people. So that is there. Dealing with desires, with what mind wants, is one difficulty. Dealing with what the mind does not want yet thinks about it is another difficulty. How should one handle intrusive thoughts that are negative and harmful? Sometimes when the mind is under a lot of stress or is very sad or anxious, such thoughts arise frequently, though unwanted. Preventing stress, anxiety, sadness is one thing, but when such issues condition the mind, how should one at moment prevent negative and unwanted thought patterns from arising? Very deeply thought question. You see, a mind in this kind of a situation where it is full of anxiety, fear, negative emotions, and all of it, it cannot overnight change. So be patient with yourself when you're handling yourself. If one has these things in one's mind, then in our context, see, look at your whole life and mind in the light of Upadesha Saram. Step by step, we have classes after classes. Look at life with these insights. That's the only way to come out of anxiety, depression, all of it as a long-term solution. Definitely there I will offer immediate short-term solutions also, but this is the long-term solution. This is the way you fundamentally handle it. Mind is anxious, depressed, all of it. Why? Because there is some imagined picture of life. You see, everybody, if you ask yourself, everyone has it. It's very experiential. Something which is there in your anubhava. Picture an ideal life. Close your eyes. Picture a happy, ideal life. You may open the eyes. Did you all have a picture there? No? Ayoyo. I'm worried. But do this exercise. You will get it. You'll have an ideal picture of my life. Maybe it's highly influenced by a Bollywood movie. Or if you are here, highly inspired by social media or social context or a Hollywood movie. But everybody has a picture. What happens is when that picture somewhere breaks, life has not turned out as per what I had imagined as a 12-year-old child, as a 18-year-old person, then there are high chances mind is depressed. There are a lot of events around. There could be death, there could be financial difficulties, career is not stable. Many of these physical situations may be cause of one's stress, one's anxiety, one's depression. Yes, all of it is there. But if you keep on handling all of it at the situational level, you may fix a few, you cannot fix a lot of it. So you need a higher perspective. That higher perspective comes from Vedanta. To see the impermanence of all of it. Whatever could be the situation, it's not going to be the same in 5 years, 10 years. 15 years back, you had a lot of problems. That problem, is it still there today? No, Swamiji, new problems are there. Or the 25-year-old problem is sitting right next to me, the spouse. So if you keep on trying to solve it situationally, you may fix few or not, but then go to the higher standpoint. Everything is impermanent, including the problems, including the situations. It's okay. That's how the nature of the world is. Mind settles down. So long-term solution is Vedanta. Short-term solution, start meditating. Start meditation. Get hold of a guided meditation, or just simply take few moments to watch your breath. Do it continuously, religiously for few months, and you will see the inner changes in you, the internal changes in you. Whenever mind feels too anxious, fearful, take help of prayer. Take help of prayer. So all of these beautiful sadhanas are there to help us handle ourselves. And if it is something that you consult your family and friends, that if you think because of the situation, you need to take help in terms of a medical advice or a counselor or a psychologist, do so. Do so. That's an intelligent way of handling our problems. There's nothing wrong in it. Seek help if you need to. In fact, Puja Swamiji used to say, seeking help when needed is intelligence. It's an intelligent way of life. So one may go do so.
Why Vedanta is a long-term solution? Why Vedanta is a long-term solution rather than short?
Oh, I meant to say permanent solution. Okay. I change my words. I take back long-term solution. It's a permanent solution. Permanent solution, sometimes the change you may not see overnight. Isn't it so? When something is a permanent solution, if there is a persisting headache, Tylenol is the solution, a short-term solution, immediate solution. But then a headache is there for 7th day, I don't think it's wise to take Tylenol. You must seek help from a doctor. And then let the doctor examine what's really going on. And then they say, okay, this is happening because of this. And they say it will take time. But then that's a real solution. That's an actual fixing of the problem rather than popping a Tylenol. So that way, on an immediate level, if somebody is too anxious, pray, meditate, go for a walk. So that could be immediate solutions. But if you keep on simply walking, expecting things to change, it may not. So you need wisdom. You need a new perspective. You need to look at life differently, fundamentally. So that's why Vedanta becomes a permanent solution in that sense. Did I answer you? Please tell about your teachers who have been your greatest influence. Are you I'm not able to read the next part, but I think I have got the essence of the questions. Yes, of course, Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ji, as I mentioned, Puja Swami Ji has been the biggest influence in my life. And after which I studied and took Sannyas Diksha from Swami Tattvavedananda Ji. I was very inspired by his teachings as well. And my journey is that with Puja Swamiji, somehow it was like very, very powerful, most powerful influence where I just had the courage to change my entire course of life, meeting this person. So that was a magical effect Puja Swamiji had on me. And in fact, it's not just my story. You ask anybody in Arshavidya, Swami Jnanananda Ji is here, you ask him, he would say the answer quite same as what I said, I'm sure. So a guru is a guide, greatest influencer in a spiritual seeker's life. And if the question is directly for me, yes, the guru. Gukarastvandhakaro vai rukarastan nivartakaha andhakara nirodhitvat gururitya bidhiyate. Guru is one, the two letters Gu and Ru. Gu stands for the darkness of ignorance, and Ru stands for one who removes, the remover. How can ever darkness be removed? Whatever instrument you bring in, you just cannot take out darkness out of a room. What you can do is just bring a lamp and place it there. The whole room gets lit up. So that's the influence that Guru brings in one's life. So that's Puja Swamiji in my life, and I have been highly benefited by this influence that he had over me. Yes, that would be my answer. And of course, I have been from somehow this quality was there. I would say I have been learning, and I have always learned from every Mahatma I came across. Every Swamiji, every teacher, every senior teacher of Arshavidya Gurukulam had something to teach me. And thankfully, I was quite young, and I received a lot of love from all our teachers. May it be Swami Viditatmananji, Pratik Bodhananji, anybody. So always that was something nice. You grow in love. You don't grow in. Puja Swamiji never really thought that you grow in some highly disciplined structure. He always believed you grow in love. So he used to give love, and he made all his disciples give love towards any new student. So I think that blossoms a person. Could you please give your perspective on different religions from comparative religions perspective? Yes. In fact, today is the Christmas day. Yeah. So the world has many different religious traditions, many customs, many tradition. There is always something to learn from everyone. In fact, that's a Vaidika attitude, that's a Vedic attitude. Because the Vedas say, Ano bhadra krita voyantu vishwataha. May noble thoughts come to me from all directions of the world. That's a Sanatana Dharma value. We are never closed. We are never closed saying that my way alone is the way. You are infidel, my way is the only way. No, Sanatana attitude is never that. We are always open to absorbing the best from anything or anyone if they have something to offer to. So many world religions, in fact today they are all wiped out. So many religions were there in Africa, China, Europe. All of them just don't exist today because of conversions, because of aggression. All of them have been wiped out from the face of earth. And all these traditions, all these religions have something great to offer to us. Or any major religion today, Judaism, Christianity, we can always learn a few things from our neighbors. And then that brings us for the comparative study of religion, where one of the elements even in an academic or in a common man's context, there could be always a few things we can learn from others also. Otherwise we become very closed. We must be always open to learning when something wise is there even in other traditions. So that would be my perspective, that you closely examine other religious traditions and then see if they have something to offer to us. We could learn, we could compare, contrast. Take like a concept of prayer. How does prayer manifest and express itself? The concept of prayer expresses in Hinduism. How does that prayer manifest in Christianity? How does that manifest in Islam? How does it manifest in Judaism? So that would be comparing a particular paradigm with reference to other religious tradition. That's how the academic research and training goes in that context. And since we are on the Christmas day, the birth of Christ, in fact I spent some research in comparing teachings of Christ and with that of Krishna. So if you see uniquely, both these figures who have inspired millions and billions of people were the circumstances under which both these figures were born was very difficult. It's as if death was there behind them. And both the beginnings were very humble beginning. One is a shepherd, Lord Krishna is a cowherd, very connected with the nature too, the way the environment has influenced the way they grew up. And when you see the teachings too of Krishna and of Christ, you see that's quite unique and innovative, and sometimes challenges the major paradigm of that age. If you see Bhagavad Gita's teaching, the whole society were guided by rituals, whatever Vedas have been suggesting, to pursue heaven, to pursue a son, to pursue a daughter, pursue a cow, pursue wealth, pursue this and that. So many things Vedas were talking about. And Krishna suddenly comes in Bhagavad Gita and says, Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Vedas will say so many things which concerning three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. May you do not come under their sway. May they talk pushpitam vacham. Vedas talk very flowery words and always prompt you to do this ritual, that ritual, go for that, go for this ritual, go for that ritual. Hey, Partha, do not come under their sway. So these two figures have essentially given some more insights about philosophical insights about life, kind of challenging, questioning the major paradigm which was going on in their generations, in their era. So one could compare and then see how things manifest, because world is not isolated, isn't it? So it's humanity. It's one world. Its basic identity is human being. So that humanity, the problems, the concerns, the desires, the aspirations are the same whether somebody is born in Israel, somebody is born in India, somebody is born in Africa. It's the same. And then the religions develop in the contexts based on geographies, based on the cultural conditions, based on the social conditions. They have a lot of good things to offer to the society at that particular time. So today, today one can study different religious traditions too, and maybe get few insights for oneself. If not, one will have insight about humanity itself. As a third perspective, you can have some as an anthropological study, observation of human beings all across the world. We can see how people make meaning, sense to their problems and concerns in their life. That's how we can bring about it. That's what I would say about it. Few more questions. I will take it tomorrow. If you have a question, you can ask. Otherwise, these questions are pending. I will answer tomorrow.
On the same topic, I just had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Lord Krishna introduced this concept of free will in the Bhagavad Gita that we don't have?
No, not necessary. No.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So it's not like even whatever Krishna's, this Traigunya Vishaya Veda, the verses I said, it's not something new thing Krishna introduced. The thought is there in the Upanishad already. It's not like it was not there, but bringing out that thought to that generation at that particular point in time, that is the uniqueness of an avatara or a guru or a teacher. So that would be one. And when it comes to free will, no, it's not like a Sri Krishna's concept or anything. That's that discussion has always been there. Fate and will. What is
unique to Hinduism?
No, it's there everywhere. Christianity also has a lot of discussion on fate and destiny, free will, all of it. That's there. All right. I think kids are going to come now. We are going to give them some holiday gifts. So till then, we can try to have a bhajan. I was supposed to come early and open the harmonium. Let's see if we can do it. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 We'll end the satsang with a short contemplative exercise. Take a moment to center yourself. Eyes are gently closed. Become grounded in the present moment. There has been a lot of learning from the morning. It will all settle down over a period of time. Clarity goes on increasing as we expose ourselves to the wisdom, to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. Recognize the blessings in your life. Invoke a sense of gratitude for all that has been there today. Food, warmth, people around, a stable environment. As even we sit here, millions of people are without warmth, food, shelter. Let us keep them always in our prayers. And this was always thought out by the rishis. Let us all pray for the goodness of the entire world. Join me in chanting and praying through Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Join me. Om सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Om Tat Sat. Slowly and gently you may open the